Today's lesson is about square roots and cube roots and how we do this in algebra. You have to go and remember the square root of a negative number is non-real. You cannot do that. The cube root of a negative number, however, will result in a negative. Let's go and look at some of the worked examples. These you will find in your book. It just explains what I'm going to go through today. Right. When we're finding roots, we are looking at our laws of exponents. So when I find the root of an exponent, I'm going to write down the base and I'm going to divide the exponent. So the operation was rooting, and therefore what do we do with the exponents? We divide the exponents. Okay, again we're going to do signs, numbers, letters. Remember, when there's only one term, it's always signs, numbers, letters. So the square root of a positive, we can always do that. So it's going to be positive. Then the number, the square root of 16 is 4. When I find the root of a variable, I'm going to write down my base and I'm going to say 6 divided by 2 because it's a square root. So my answer will be 4c cubed. Right, let's look at one that's a little bit more complex than that. Okay, again, we get the explanation in our book. So let's look at this. We are finding the cube root. The cube root of a positive is positive. The cube root of 27 is 3. Remember, you have to go and learn the cube roots from 1 to 7 cubed. Right, when I find the root of a variable, I write down the variable and I'm going to say 9 divided by 3 because it's a cube root. So that would be 3a cubed. Now this step here, you do not have to do that. It's just merely to explain it to you. Let's look at this one. Remember what we said, the root acts as a bracket. Okay? The other thing is you cannot split a root over plus or minus, only multiplication and or division. Now remember, root, either square root or cube root. Right, so the next thing we have to look at, how many terms do I have under the square root? Well, I have 2. Then we say to ourselves, are they like terms? Yes, they are like terms because that's a y squared, that's a y squared. So when I'm adding or subtracting in algebra, I write down the family name, which is y squared, and I say 12 minus 3 is 9. So now I have to find the square root of 9y squared. So again, we have one term, so it's going to be signs, numbers, letters, or variables. The square root of a positive is positive. The square root of 9 is 3y. So I'm going to take my 2 and I'm going to divide it by 2 because it's square root, and that would be 3y to the 1 because 2 over 2 is equal to 1, or that would just be 3y. I want you now to go and try the test you're under.